Sunday everyone, it's Angela here and welcome to my channel. I've got a quick little project for us to do today, so I hope that you're going to enjoy following along. Right, I have been making a couple of these little mini pockets, which I love to do. Great to use up little bits and pieces, and of course a creative way to add a little envelope and a little pocket into your journal. So I'm going to share with you how I've made various versions of this. I've got some that I've made for my Baking Bliss journal, and I've got some that I've made for my new journal, To Have and to Hold. So I'm going to show you different ideas on what I've done with them. Okay, so here's the first little one. These are small. They only measure, well, this one's 3.5 inches wide. So you're looking at, oh, what is that? That's about, it's not even 10 centimeters, 9 centimeters. All right, so it's really small, and it's 9 centimeters this way. So it is a little square. You've got, if I just bring this up, I've put a little colored doily on here with a little tab and things like I've been making before, but without the paper clip, some eyelash trim, and you lift that up. I've stenciled on the inside here, and then I've just put on some lace and some tulle and just a little sentiment. So that's just one idea. I've done another one here with using those butterflies we made before with the little flowers, put on some little leaves on there, same banner sort of thing. So that's quite similar. And I thought I'd show you how I do that ever so quickly. So is that you want a piece of paper. All right, so this piece of paper is the width of an A4. Now, I've written the measurements down here. You're looking at lengthwise 21 centimeters or 8.25 inches. So you can do this with a US letter size as well. Using the extra 1/4 inch isn't going to make any difference. So I would just cut a width, widthwise here, 10 centimeters, or I've used 4 inches in this case. All right, so it's just slightly short of 4 inches really. Okay, you can do these any size you like. Now I've got another one here where I've made a bigger one. All I've done is I've taken half the size of a double page, so this would be a full sheet of paper. I've cut it in half, which had this lovely framework on it, and I've done exactly the same. I printed on the back of this one because that's how the page was, and I've turned that up for the base, and I've got that as the flap. So you don't have to be limited by the size. Any size will work. It's just really the principle of that. All right, so if we take this piece here and you measure up, what's that? Just short of 3 inches, so 2 3/4 inches, and in centimeters that would be, I'll tell you, 7 centimeters and 2 3/4 inches. I take this, and this is the bit I fold for the flap, the front flap. All right, so there's no exact measures required here. This is great to use with scrap papers, anything like that. And then at the top here, 1 3/4 inches, so you're looking at 4 centimeters there. I just fold that one over. Okay, so really easy. You could do this with book pages, you could do this with anything. All right, you could decorate it up any which way you like. Now what I do here is, and you can make yourself a little template. I've talked about that before. For example, take this. This is for people who don't have a corner punch now. You need to just see what I'm doing. I'm lining that up nicely with my distress ink, and I'm just drawing a little line here. So this is my little template to use, and this is what I did for a while before I had one of those, you know. So if you're just starting out, this would work for you. And then you just take your scissors and you just cut around there to give you a rounded corner. All right, it's simple as that, and it works well. It just takes a little longer, that's all, but nothing wrong with that. All right, so there we go. You've got perfect round corners, and you use something that you had. Okay, right, so we've got that there, and of course you can go and distress this. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to give you the gist of how I put this together. All right, and then at this point I would stencil on here. So just a case of grabbing a stencil and some of the actual ink that you want to use. This is Victorian Velvet, but you could use anything. And then you want to just very lightly just stencil over the flap, and maybe an inch or so just below that. Okay, so that's what you do there. And then you've got that pattern instead of the white. You could stamp on there, whatever you like, lots of bits. You could stick a scrap piece of paper there and there, so that could work as well. All right, and then what I would do is, this is the part where I would either glue those two sides down. So you can just take your glue here, run it on your, oh wait, I haven't opened this yet today. And then just run a thin bead of glue down these two sides here. All right, you don't have to glue this, you can stitch it, and I usually do, but I'm just showing you for the gluing purposes here. Okay, so there you've got a little pocket already, a little envelope really, and now it's ready to be decorated. Okay, if you were going to stitch, I stitch from this corner here and I go right round and end there. All right, I don't stitch on this case. Sometimes I do, but usually before I decorate, but I haven't done it with these because of the doily. All right, so that gives you the little base to work on, and how pretty is that with this? Okay, now you can use this, as I say, I've done quite a few here with the Baking Bliss one, so I've taken you up to that point there. But going back to a baking one, same, I've used this background paper, I've stenciled in the middle there, and I won't glue this one down, but the principle is the same. Then it's just a case of putting on your lace. So it's easier for me just to draw a glue line here on my actual page, like that. Put on a little bit of trim, whatever you have. So this one here. Okay. And we can always cut off the edge. I tend to make it a bit longer just so that I get a nice finish at the end. And this is some very soft tulle scraps that I had in my tulle pile there. And what I did was I actually took one of my little sentiments. So this is Bake Somebody Happy. I put the glue onto the sentiment itself, like that. And then just stick this tulle, which is very thin, and the glue will go straight through it, but it's easier than messing about on your page, I think. Having made a few of these now, I've worked that out. All right, so just get it where you want it. And then I just stuck that at the base over there. All right, so that's that. And then for the top bit, what I did here was I took a bit of a doily. Now you can get white ones, you can stencil on them, color them, tea stain them, overstain them, you know, dye them, whatever you want. So this one I bought, I was lucky to find a few like this, and I think I got them at the pound shop actually. Now my doily's a bit long there, and that's why you can either cut it off or you can wrap it round, so that's up to you. And then all I did was I put some glue on this, and then we're going to just open that up, and we want to get that stuck down. Right, so it's about there. Just making sure I match it up nicely. Now at this point you can either fold them over or you can cut them off. Let's cut them off on this occasion. It's up to you what you want to do. Okay, so there we go, we've got that done. Right, so we've got the lid done. Imagine that's stuck down. I'm going to stitch it. So okay, so you've got that there. Now it's a case of what you want to put on the top. All right, so let's just clip this down here so that I can keep it down. Okay, I love my circles. I've cut out loads, and the lacy paper is a great one to use because it's a neutral base, but anything goes. All right, so we've got that. And then on this occasion, I've got 2 banner pieces like I've shown you before, and I'm into the banners at the moment. So these are about 2 inches, and I've just cut little V's in there. You will get this little bit as a printed set. It's part of the spring mini journal kit that I had out, so you could use those as templates or use those actual ones and print them out again. So that's just an idea. Just want to put some glue on the back there, and I'm going to just put some glue on the one side here, stick this one like that, slightly over. I've got it at an angle, you can have it straight. And then I'm going to just stick this. Now I want it fairly low because I don't want it to come over this too much. So I am mindful of that. Okay, so we'll leave the flower in there like that. So happy with that. And now I'm going to put some more glue on the back here. And let me just see how far, okay, and a little bit further down here. Right, not all the way because it'll stick on here. And then we can just lift up that flap and get it quite high up here, like that. Yeah, and let's just see if that's where I want it. I think it is, just a little bit over. Yeah, okay, so there we go. And then a little bit of eyelet trim, one of the little butterflies, and again these are not the eyelet trim, but these big butterflies are in that spring kit as well. And then what I do is I just turn that over, fill this with glue, lots of it, and then I just take this little bit of eyelet trim and I turn it around. So sometimes, so this one's not in the position I really want it, but I just get that down there and then get it to go round like a little circle, and then I tuck it in where I don't want it to stick out. So a bit of an oblong really. Okay, like that. So if I look that way, there are none of those bits sticking out, the center of the yarn itself. And then you can just stick this on here. So is that where I want it? It is. Okay. And then you can put any sorts of bits and pieces on there. So, you can put a flower, you can put a little pearl, you can do whatever you want. Everything's falling everywhere now. All right, so I've got a little pearl here, so we'll just put a little dot of glue on there. I mean, these are self-adhesive pearls, but, I always put a little bit of glue on just to ensure, oops, that sprung up, didn't it? That it's going to stay. All right, so there we go. Okay, so that's how I did that. So really not difficult at all. So that's, other than that, I can now go and sew there if you wanted, or glue it down, whatever you choose. So that's how easy that was. So I'm going to push those up to the top here. I've just got a couple of other little ideas that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so again, we're going to use the same piece of paper, but what I did in the next occasion, I actually embossed it. So same piece of paper, I've used my embosser, which I've got that new the new Big Shot, which is the electric version. So gosh, it works like a dream. So if you do a lot of fussy cutting or embossing, I recommend that switch definitely. Okay, so here I've embossed it. It just gives it another dimension really. And on the inside of the embossing from the lid side, I've just run my, well, it wasn't this color, but I just took this, and I'll show you down here, and I just ran it over the top. This one's a bit dark for that, but the antique linen is a great one for that. Okay, now you're not gonna see that anyway. So I would then stitch that again. And then on the top here, what I decided to do was I took a doily template. So if you've got any doily templates, and this is the very first die cut I ever owned, and I didn't even buy it new. I got it secondhand, so for the life of me, I don't know what its make is. I bought this from a person who was getting rid of their crafting stuff, and I got a few of these. So this one is great because I've sized my paper here, which is 4 inches, to fit half this doily. So I've taken the widest points there, like that, and that's the doily piece that I'm going to use. All right, so that's another option, and this one is from a page from my latest kit with that I showed you. And then what I did was I cut out different doily papers. So this is from my lacy sheets that with a tea and avocado stain, the one I love to use for backing, lovely ivory color. And that I'm going to put on here just to take away some of the pink. So we're going to stick this down quickly. Stick that down. So I'm just going to stick it on the actual solid piece here. So this one makes it easier to work with. You can go and do some other bits, but I think here would be a good idea. Just here a bit. Okay, and then this one we're going to stick on here as well. So don't be afraid to use different materials for this. All right, I'm going to show you. I haven't only used this kind of paper for this. I've got other ideas to share with you as well. So get that stuck down. And then what I did was I grabbed some little scraps. I had the scrap of doily from making the belly band before. It is a scrap, all right? And I thought, right, I'm going to use you today. This is the day. So I'm putting some glue down here, probably just because it's easier than trying to get it on here. And I'm going to put this bit on here. So if you've got any doily scraps, you know, instead of throwing them away, this would be a great way to use them. Okay, and because this is a wedding theme, I'm trying to use wedding ideas. So we're not finished with that bit yet. I've just got to put some glue here because I'm going to stick down some lace. All right, so this is some of the beautiful ballet color lace that I got from Plum Boutique, which is beautiful cotton lace. Love it. And it works perfectly in this lovely shell color for this journal theme. So we've got that there. And then on the top of that, I took some of my pink lace. So the lace, let me see if I can grab a piece here. Yes. So some of this lace, which I've been using for the Baking Bliss journal and for this journal. Okay. And I just took, I think it was 4 inches I used. All right, 4 inches like that. Cut it off, and I just took my needle like I've shown you before, and I threaded the needle just along these top holes here, and I pulled it tight and pulled it together like that. There's a little piece of, and I stuck a button on the top. Okay, so I've done this before with when I made that quadrifold with the blue one. Okay, so it's great for that. And I've now going to stick glue on the back here. Just make sure I get it all, you know. And I want to just put this on the top. Okay, and stick that down. Okay, and it will dry nicely overnight. How gorgeous does that look now? All right, now that was the top bit that I wanted to just share with you. I'll probably find something to put on here, like a label or something, and probably stitch around this one. But that's another decorative idea that you can put on the top with bits of scraps. Okay, so we've got that one. Right, move that away. The other one I wanted to share, and I'm not going to make them all up, is I cut out a doily with glassine papers, well, vellum actually. Vellum, this is printed vellum. It's got the pink polka dot, but it doesn't matter. And I'm going to try that on there as well. So I'm not going to do the rest. I'm just going to show you the top. So we get that down. And then just a little bit over here on the edges where it's going to stick down on the paper. So again, this page I had was printed here. It was a misprint, as you can see. And it was on the edge of the page. So I've just folded that up, beautiful for a spring journal. And I have put the vellum on the end of this one. Now again, you can, everything's sticking to me now, you can just cut those little bits off that exceed the edge of your little pocket. All right, so there we go. And again, you can stick on some of that glue there as well. I mean, lace there as well. But what I wanted to show you here was how I did the middle bit. So I've taken a circle from the linen paper, the little lacy paper again, like that. And I'm going to stick that down. So let's get our glue. And I love how this one turned out. This would go in my spring journal, definitely. So you want to just get this centralized, and I'm using this here as a guide. So there we go. And then what I did was I took some more of that eyelet trim. Right, and for the life of me, this was gifted to me. You can get all sorts of eyelet trim, and I'm going to make a little circle with this. But again, I'm going to put the glue down first, and I'm not going to be worried about how much of it I put on, because other things will be going on top. So I made a little half circle here just so that I can get this spread down. All right, we're using all sorts of things I've had lying in my stash for ages. Then what I did was I cut out one of these little roses. This is part of the freebie kit, and they're also in the To Have and To Hold kit that I gave you guys. So going to stick that down as well. Right, and I wanted to stick I'm going to stick some of the goodies on here, so I'm not going to press this down 100% yet. It's just resting on here like that. And then what I've got is two of these little linen leaves, also lying in my stash for eternity. I got these off eBay. They're just little linen, but any leaves that you have, even the green ones would work. These are nice and white, so I thought great, goes with this. Doesn't draw attention away from my center bit here. But there is a little green leaf in the freebie. Right, so I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to just take another one and put this over here like that. Okay, and then what I did was I thought, okay, I want something else. So I've just pulled off one of my stamped words from my contact stamps, you know, the ones that join together. You could write this. You don't have to have these stamps to do this. This is a scrap of tea stained paper that, you know, I hang on to every little morsel. It was the page edge really that I trimmed off, and you know, trimming off some of the Edith Holden pages is great to hang on to as well, and I've done that. And then I wanted to just stick this over here. I think I might just want it underneath here. So before I go and stick that down, I think I'm going to just get that tucked underneath there like that. Right, now I'm ready to press this all down. Okay. And then again, a little bit of glue over here. And as I said, guys, you could have the same effect if you just use book pages. I'm just giving you ideas to use. So please go and see what you have and have fun with it, really. Okay, so I have gone and stitched some of these around here, and I like how those have come out. So I've got that ready, and now I've used some other goodies. So I've actually used vellum on this occasion, very lightly printed pink polka dot, which you probably can't see on the camera, and then I've stuck on a doily using that doily template I showed you, and this is just one of the pages from my To Have and To Hold kit, or of course in the spring journal. You can do that as well. All right, it's on that page, is in there as well. Right, I've got that all ready. Just wanted to show you some really different ideas here. Well, not maybe so different. What I've taken is some very soft tulle. This is like a soft pink color, I've measured 1 inch wide of it, done exactly the same as I did with this over here. So I've measured 4 inches, so 10 centimeters, and I've rouged it all up together, threaded through a long line at the top by hand and pulled it all together. And I'm going to put that on the top here. So it's really delicate pocket, but a delicate decoration as well. So I'm going to just stick a pile of glue on the top here, like that. And I'm using the Fabri-Tac glue in that bottle, so in case you're wondering. Then I'm going to just get that over here like this. All right, so it's very sheer along with the pocket. And then I did the same with some of the ribbon. So this is silk ribbon from Plum Boutique. That's in my ribbon collection that I ordered. And again, I've taken 4 inches, run the stitches along the top and done the same. And I'm going to just put that on the top there to finish it off. So I'm going to put some glue on this one. Don't be shy with the glue when you're sticking down these things. And then we want to put that on the top there. And you want to press it. Okay. You want to press it down hard. Right, but you could do this with seam binding. You could do this with just plain ribbon. Satin ribbon works beautifully. You know, it is a great little bit to do, especially when you're watching the telly, and make some of these on hand to decorate in any of your journals in any colors that you so choose. So there's a lovely delicate pocket with a delicate finish, and you can trim off the tulle as you want it. You know, so I quite like that idea. These I am going to use in my journal, so I've made those. I've got one more to show you. That's this one. This is just my normal lacy paper, the background paper you've seen me use a lot of. I've done the same here and put on the same doily as I've done there, so the same piece. It's that beautiful page from the peachy color one from the Spring Auto Haven't Told journal, and I've put on my ribbon and I've stitched that. So here I've taken fabric, plain fabric, again 1 inch wide, 4 inches long, and I'm going to just put that on here. All right, so that's another idea of what you could do. So go and have a look at all those bits that you've got, all those little scrappy bits, and decide what it is that you want to use. Go and make a pile of these in all sizes, because you can decorate them in many ways, not just on these little envelopes, you know, it could be on absolutely anything. So I'm going to just get this sort of centralized here. And again, once you press it down, I didn't make the best join on this flower, I must say. And it'll go a bit flatter once you squash it down a bit. Okay. And you can add things to it. I mean, I'm just looking at my little butterflies here. You know, if you wanted to add a little butterfly to it, you could do. You know, you can do whatever you want to do. So go and have a look at what you've got there. We've made all these little ones today. Those are going in my baking journal. I just need one for my baking journal. And I'm going to put in a couple of these into my Spring and or Haven't Told journal. Okay guys, I hope that's given you a little bit of inspiration, and you can go and roll these out and make a load in all sorts of scrap bits of paper. As long as you've got about 3 to 4 inches in width, there you go. Okay, get out those stamps and stencils and colour in the inside. It doesn't have to be printed on the inside. Okay everyone, have a wonderful Sunday. I'm going to be seeing you again next week. I hope to have an extra little video, and fingers crossed I can get that baking journal finished, because I really want to do a flip through of that. Stay well, thank you for your support and kind words, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.